Hello students, we are going through the unit 3, that is integral calculus. In this video lecture, we will get the idea about gamma functions. Before going to actual our topic, I would like to request you, if not yet subscribed, please subscribe our channel Mathsmania PCCOE. So as all of you know that for integer value of n, factorial of n is defined. That factorial n is n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 and so on up to the value is equal to 1. But if we are considering non-integer value, so what is the term? So for fractional values, what the expression gives, and so the term occurs as special function, which is called as gamma function, which is the generalization of factorial function to non-integer values, which is introduced by Swiss mathematician Leonardo Euler in the 18th century. So first we'll go through the definition of gamma function. So consider the definite integral, which is from 0 to infinity e raised to minus x raised to n minus 1 with respect to x, which is with x as variable term, n is nothing but our constant. The limit must be from 0 to infinity. This special definite integral is called as gamma function of n. So gamma function of n, where n is the value we are using from this power of x, and hence we can consider the definition as gamma of n, which is equal to integral from 0 to infinity e raised to minus x. The same variable x must be there, and so x raised to n minus 1 with respect to x, where n is nothing but our value greater than 0. So maybe with fractions or maybe integer. We may use the result as integral from 0 to infinity instead of considering the integral as x raised to n minus 1. If we are considering x raised to n, it says that whatever the power, that power plus 1. So here it comes out as n minus 1 plus 1, that is equal to n. So using this definition, we can calculate the values of gamma function. So see some properties. So gamma of 1, which comes out to be equal to 1. Using the definition of gamma of n, if we substitute n is equal to 1, it remains to the form of e raised to minus x from the limit 0 to infinity. And so substituting integral terms and evaluation of the result gives gamma of 1 is equal to 1. Next result is gamma of n plus 1, which comes in the reduction form as n gamma of n. So if we consider by definition gamma of n plus 1, which is e raised to minus x, x raised to n plus 1 minus 1, that is x raised to n, using by parts, it reduced to the form of gamma of n definition, and hence the result comes out as gamma of n plus 1 can be written in the form of n gamma of n. If we are considering n as integer value, so gamma of n plus 1, which is equal to n factorial. For this, gamma of 0 is equal to infinity. Using the property gamma of n plus 1 is equal to n into gamma of n, which we can rewrite it as gamma of n is equal to gamma n plus 1 upon n. Substitute the value for n equal to 0, and it turns to the form, since gamma of 1 is equal to 1, 1 by 0, that is equal to infinity, and hence the result gamma 0 is equal to infinity. Similarly, if we consider gamma half by using actual definition of gamma function, gamma half comes out as root of pi. There are some transformations of gamma functions. So integral from 0 to infinity e raised to minus kx. Actually our term must be in the form of e raised to minus x and x raised to n minus 1. Due to this k factor, the change occurs. So actually our integration must be in the form of kx is equal to y, and similarly we want to consider this function as y with some power, and hence the simplification turns to transformation as e raised to minus kx x raised to n minus 1 is equal to gamma n upon k raised to n. So n minus 1 plus 1 is nothing but our value of gamma n, and we are using this e raised to kx term with k as dividing factor. So k raised to n. Also additional result is there in terms of gamma of p into gamma of 1 minus p. So if gamma function with product terms as p and 1 minus p forms, the result we can simplify by using this value of p, and that is pi upon sine p pi, where p is the value lying between 0 to 1. So look at the example, gamma of 1 by 4 into gamma 3 by 4, we can calculate it as gamma 1 by 4, write 3 by 4 as 1 minus 1 by 4, and hence if we are using p is equal to 1 by 4, p into gamma of 1 minus p, where p is equal to 1 upon 4, and hence pi upon sine p pi, that is pi by 4. Since the value of sine pi by 4 is equal to root 2, the value 1 upon root 2, the expression comes out as root 2 pi. So using this expression, now we'll see some examples how to calculate the value of gamma function. So see the first example, gamma of pi by 2. This we can read as we know gamma half is equal to root pi. We try to reach to the values equal to 1 by 2. So pi by 2 we can write it as 3 by 2 plus 1 using the formula gamma of n plus 1 is equal to n gamma of n, where n is equal to 3 by 2. So 3 by 2 gamma of 3 by 2. Again rewriting 3 by 2 as 1 by 2 plus 1, and hence gamma of 1 by 2 plus 1 is 1 upon 2 into gamma of 1 by 2. Gamma half is root pi, and hence which is our value for gamma of pi by 2. If you look at the generalized formula for any odd number divided by 2, see the result is useful only when the dividing factor is 2 and the number is odd number. If the number is even number divided by 2 comes out as integer value, and for integer gamma function is directly different. So for odd number, the value odd number divided by 2 with gamma function as odd number minus 2, minus 4, and so on. The value reaches to 1 with divided by 2 as factor, and last expression comes out as gamma of 1 by 2, that is root pi. So we can calculate for any odd number divided by 2. So gamma of 11 by 2, which starts from 9 by 2 into 7 by 2 into 5 by 2 into 3 by 2 into 1 by 2 into root pi. See the next example, gamma 3 by 4, gamma 5 by 4. So gamma 3 by 4 into gamma 5 by 4 is not directly possible to calculate. So we try to rewrite the expression. But if we are considering 3 by 4, 1 minus p result is also not applicable, and hence we consider reduction for gamma 5 by 4. So gamma 3 by 4 as it is into gamma 5 by 4, we can write it as gamma 1 by 4 plus 1. Gamma of n plus 1 is n into gamma of n. So keeping gamma 3 by 4 as it is into 1 by 4, gamma 1 by 4, and then use the formula for gamma 1 by 4 into gamma 3 by 4. So gamma 1 by 4, gamma of 3 by 4 is gamma of 1 minus 1 by 4. So we use the term p and 1 minus p, where p is equal to 1 by 4, and hence the result is 1 by 4 as it is, pi upon sine p pi, where p equal to 1 by 4. Simplification turns to the actual answer as root 2 pi by 4. See, the gamma function behaves like factorial for natural numbers, which is a discrete set. Its extension to the positive real numbers makes it useful for modeling situations involving continuous change, with important applications to calculus, differential equations, complex analysis, and statistics. Now we'll see actual examples how to calculate the value of integrals with special functions by using gamma function. So see this integral example first. Prove that integral from 0 to infinity fourth root of x e raised to minus root x dx is equal to 3 root 2 pi by 2. For gamma function, it is compulsory to have 0 to infinity e raised to minus x, that is e raised to minus some variable, and that same variable raised to some power. So it is not in our standard form, hence we use the substitution as root x is equal to t. So once we convert this root x is equal to t, function turns to e raised to minus t, and definitely change will occur for variable x in terms of t. So if we substitute root x is equal to t for converting to standard form of integral, so 1 upon 2 root x dx is equal to dt, that implies dx is equal to 2 root x dt, that is equal to 2t dt, and hence dx is equal to 2t dt using the limits for the function root x is equal to t when x equal to 0, t equal to 0, and when x equal to infinity, root infinity equal to infinity, and hence t is equal to infinity. So our limit for the function remains same, 0 to infinity. X is x, fourth root of x can be written as x raised to 1 by 4, and x is equal to t square. So as root x is equal to t, x is equal to t square. So t square raised to 1 by 4 e raised to minus t, substituting the value for dx is equal to 2t dt, turns to the form treating constant outside and writing the expression e raised to minus t raised to 1 by 2 into t raised to 1. So t raised to 1 by 2 plus 1, that is t raised to 3 by 2. If we consider this is nothing but our definite integral now, and which can be considered in the form of gamma function. So 2 gamma of 3 by 2 plus 1. Gamma of 3 by 2 plus 1 is nothing but 2 gamma of 5 by 2, and then using the further simplification gives our required answer as 2 into 3 by 2 into 1 by 2 into gamma half, that is root pi, that comes out as I equal to 3 root pi by 2. See the next example. To prove that x integral from 0 to infinity x raised to a upon a raised to x equal to gamma of a plus 1 divided by log a raised to a plus 1. The restriction is a must be greater than 1. Since the limit is from 0 to infinity, x raised to a and a raised to x. So what our aim is, x raised to some power is already existing. So to convert in terms of e raised to expression, we use the substitution for a raised to x is equal to e raised to t. So since 1 upon a raised to x is the factor, 1 upon a raised to x converts to 1 upon e raised to t, that is e raised to minus t. And the change we can consider for x as well. So substitution is a raised to x is equal to e raised to t, and hence simplification taking log on both the sides, that is x log a is equal to t log e to the base e. Log e is 1, and hence simplification gives x is equal to t upon log a. What about the changes in terms of limits? When x equal to 0, t is equal to 0. When x is equal to infinity, t is also equal to infinity. Using the condition x is equal to t upon log a, dx is 1 upon log a dt. So differentiating the given term of x and t. And hence our integral turns to integral from 0 to infinity x raised to a, where x is t upon log a. So x raised to a e raised to minus t due to the factor of 1 upon a raised to x. So 1 upon a raised to x is 1 upon e raised to t, that is e raised to minus t into dx. dx is 1 upon log a dt. Simplify the integral, which gives e raised to minus t, t raised to a integral with respect to t from the limit 0 to infinity. This definite integral is nothing but our gamma function of a plus 1, and hence gives our required result. See example 3. Prove that integral from 0 to infinity 1 upon 3 raised to 4x square with respect to x is root pi upon 4 root log 3. So for proving this result, x raised to some power is not present, but 1 upon 3 raised to 4x square, which we can convert in terms of e raised to t. So for which e raised to 3 raised to 4x square, we substitute it as e raised to t, and hence our result gives us e raised to minus t, and differentiation leads to our functions in the form of t raised to some power. So substitute the result, 3 raised to 4x square is equal to e raised to t, which implies 4x square equal into log 3 is equal to t log e, taking log on both the sides, and hence x is equal to root t upon 2 root log 3. Differentiation gives dx is equal to derivative of root x is 1 upon 2 root x, so root 1 upon 2 into 2 root t, root of log 3 with respect to t. Hence our given integral turns to I is equal to integral from 0 to infinity, as x is the function in terms of root t with some multiplying constant. When x equal to 0, t equal to 0, when x equal to infinity, t equal to infinity, hence our limits remain same, 0 to infinity. 1 upon 3 raised to 4x square turns to e raised to minus t, and dx is with given term. So after changing the value as 3 raised to 4x square equal to e raised to t. So the value for 1 upon 4 root of log 3, which gives 0 to infinity e raised to minus t, treating constant terms outside, the expression remains as root t in the denominator, that is t raised to minus 1 by 2 with respect to t. Using the gamma definition, that is e raised to minus x, x raised to n minus 1. The result is minus 1 by 2 plus 1 with coefficient constant term as it is. Gamma of minus 1 by 2 plus 1, that is gamma half, and gamma half is equal to root pi, gives our required answer to the right hand side part. See next example 4. Prove that integral is from 0 to 1 x log x raised to 4 with respect to x is 4 factorial upon 5 raised to 5. Here we are considering the integral limit is 0 to 1. X raised to 4 term is present, but as the term is in the form of log x, so we try to use the substitution for logarithmic function, which can be converted in terms of e raised to powers. So it depends, the substitution for log x is t or minus t, where the term is present in the integral with logarithmic form. So substitute log x is equal to minus t, so that x gives the value as e raised to minus t, which is our required form of e raised to minus x. So x equal to e raised to minus t, differentiation leads to dx is equal to minus e raised to minus t with respect to t. Using log x is equal to minus t, when x equal to 0, which is our lower limit, the value for t is equal to minus log 0. Log 0 is minus infinity, and hence the value for t comes out as infinity when upper limit x is equal to 1. X equal to 1 gives log 1, that is equal to 0, and hence the upper limit turns to t equal to 0. So by using the substitution log x equal to minus t, integral gives integral from infinity to 0 x raised to 4, where x is equal to e raised to minus t. So e raised to minus t raised to 4 log x raised to 4, that is minus t raised to 4, and dx is equal to minus e raised to minus t with respect to t, which is equal to, since integral from a to b with negative sign, we can consider it as integral from b to a. So in changing the limits, lower top at 0 to infinity, e raised to minus 4t and e raised to minus t gives e raised to minus 5t, minus raised to 4 gives minus as plus, and t raised to 4, and hence the expression leads to e raised to minus 5t t raised to 4 with respect to t, which is for the gamma function with the standard limit 0 to infinity e raised to minus kx x raised to n minus 1. So this is the generalized property we are considering for gamma function instead of only x if the number is with multiplying with some factor. So if we use k is equal to 5 and n is equal to 5, the result turns to gamma 5 divided by k raised to n, that is 5 raised to 5. As we know, for integer values gamma function is nothing but factorial n minus 1. So gamma 5 is 4 factorial divided by 5 raised to 5, which is our required answer. Next example 5. Prove that integral from 0 to 1 log of 1 upon x raised to n minus 1 is equal to gamma of n. This also we consider as definition of gamma function in terms of log of 1 upon x with some power. So how to derive this result? The limit is from 0 to 1. Logarithmic function we need to convert in terms of e raised to minus t, and hence the substitution goes log of 1 upon x is equal to t or minus t. Definitely it works with log of 1 upon x is equal to t, and hence 1 upon x is equal to e raised to t taking antilog, and hence the value for taking reciprocal on both the sides, x is equal to 1 upon e raised to t, that is e raised to minus t, and hence definitely the result can be converted in terms of e raised to minus t by using the substitution as log of 1 upon x is equal to t. Differentiation x equal to e raised to minus t leads to dx is equal to minus e raised to minus t with respect to t. As we are considering the substitution for log of 1 upon x is equal to t, when x equal to 0, log infinity, that is equal to infinity, and when x is equal to 1, log 1 equal to 0. So lower limit is t equal to infinity, upper limit turns to t equal to 0, and hence our given integral after substitution turns to integral from infinity to 0 log of 1 upon x is equal to t, and hence the term is t raised to n minus 1, and dx is minus e raised to minus t with respect to t. Minus sign changes the lower limit to upper limit terms, 0 to infinity e raised to minus t, t raised to n minus 1 with respect to t, which is our actual definition of gamma function, and hence the answer comes out for given integral I as gamma of n. Now see the hints for some examples and try to work out with these problems. If the idea is clear, definitely you can get the correct answers. So see example 6. Prove that integral from 0 to infinity root x e raised to minus cube root of x dx is equal to 315 root pi by 16. So see the integral is from 0 to infinity. E raised to minus x is the required term to use gamma function with x raised to some power. So e raised to minus x, and hence to convert this to some variable term we use a substitution as cube root of x is equal to t. Cube root of x, cubing both the sides, that means x is equal to t cube. Calculate the values for x, dx. The value for e raised to minus cube root of x turns to e raised to minus t. See the limits and try to simplify the answer and get the right hand side part. Next example 7. Prove that integral from 0 to infinity e raised to minus x raised to 4 dx. Now e raised to minus t, and hence the substitution goes with x raised to 4 is equal to t. Example 8. Prove that x raised to 4 upon 4 raised to x with 0 to infinity equal to 24 by log 4 raised to 5. So x raised to 4 and 4 raised to x, and hence we use the substitution since 4 raised to x in the denominator function. So we use this function so that it turns to e raised to minus t, and hence the substitution goes 4 raised to x is equal to e raised to t. Take log on both the sides, differentiate the terms and try to get the answer with required form. Example 9. Prove that integral from 0 to 1 dx upon x log of 1 upon x is equal to root 2 pi. So hint is definitely logarithmic function, so we want to use. So even though the function is in the form of 0 to 1, in beta function the expression is x raised to m minus 1 and 1 minus x raised to n minus 1. So definitely 1 minus x is not the factor, so beta function is not useful. So in the session for beta functions in detail you will see how to simplify for the expression. But don't get confused, even though limit is from 0 to 1, but due to this logarithmic function the substitution goes as converting to gamma function, that is e raised to minus t as form. So to get the result in the form of log of 1 upon x, so we use log of 1 upon x is equal to t. Simplify the result, reciprocal function turns to the form of e raised to minus t with some constant term as multiplying form. So we use generalized result e raised to minus kx x raised to n minus 1. Next example 10. Prove that integral from 0 to 1 dx upon root of minus log x is equal to root pi. So inside square root with negative terms, and hence the substitution must be along with negative sign, and so the expression gives minus log x is equal to t. That means log x is equal to minus t, and hence x comes out as e raised to minus t. Differentiation leads to the numerator value as e raised to minus t form. Example 11. Prove that integral from 0 to 1 x log x raised to 3 with respect to x is equal to minus 3 by 128. X raised to 3 log x raised to 3, and so the expression gives substitution required as log x is equal to minus t. So if we substitute log x is equal to minus t, so x is equal to e raised to minus t. X equal to e raised to minus t gives x raised to e raised to minus t raised to 3, that is e raised to minus 3t. And so that we can use special term, that is the simplified form of gamma function. In logarithmic function mostly we come across the result as integral from 0 to infinity e raised to minus kx x raised to n minus 1, which is the generalized result for gamma function. Thank you.